On a bright but chilly morning in the heart of the city's financial district, where tall glass buildings reached high into the sky and luxury cars slid down spotless roads, a little girl with dusty cheeks and tired, worn-out eyes pushed open the heavy doors of the Summit Crest Bank. Her name was Liana Nolan, and she held a faded bank card tightly in her small hands, gripping it like it was the last bit of hope she had left. Sunlight filled the huge lobby, but even in that glow, Liana looked delicate, nervous, and completely out of place among the polished marble floors and towering pillars. As she walked inside, people turned to stare, not with warmth, but with confusion, surprise, and a hint of judgment. All Liana wanted was simple. She wanted to check her balance. If you believe that caring for others still matters, if you believe everyone deserves another chance, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us spread more goodness in a world that needs it. Liana's trip to the bank didn't begin with bravery. It started with fear. She had been wandering the city for the last 2 days, with only a few coins in her pocket, wearing a ripped gray shirt and jeans that barely fit her anymore. Before her mother passed away, she had told Liana to keep the little white card safe. Liana never knew why, and she had carried it for years without understanding its importance. But today, with hunger twisting her stomach and strangers avoiding her on the street, she finally decided it was time to see whether the card held anything of value, whether her mother had left her a miracle or nothing at all. The bank buzzed with a kind of energy Liana had never seen before. Screens flashed numbers and stock updates. Workers in sharp suits rushed by with files and steaming cups of coffee. Phones rang nonstop. The entire place seemed alive with money. And right in the center of it all sat Dominic Hale, one of the wealthiest investment leaders in the entire city. His loud laugh echoed through the building as he spoke with his advisors. Dominic was a man who lived on power, success, and attention. Nothing ordinary ever bothered him. But then he noticed Liana. She stood at the customer service desk, quietly sliding her old card toward the banker. Elena Marin, the woman behind the counter, paused when she saw the girl's worn-out condition. People nearby stared, some with concern, others with irritation, and many with disbelief. Liana's voice trembled as she explained what she needed. Elena gave her a gentle smile and guided her toward Dominic's area, because his private terminal could reach older and deeper account archives. Liana didn't know any of this. She just followed, hoping to finally find out if she had anything left in this world. Dominic watched her approach with mild amusement. He assumed it was a mistake, or maybe a strange prank. Leaning back, he let out a quiet chuckle as the small girl stepped up to his counter. Liana handed him the card, an old debit card that looked like it had survived many years in her pocket. To Dominic, the whole situation felt ridiculous. One of the richest men in the city being asked to check the balance of a homeless child. He couldn't stop the smirk that crept across his face. But Liana wasn't smiling. Her hands shook. Her eyes darted around the room, taking in every stare. She only wanted the truth, just one answer. The room slowly quieted as Dominic placed the card into the terminal. Everything shifted in an instant. Dominic's grin disappeared. His eyebrows knit together in disbelief. He leaned closer to the screen, blinking hard as if the numbers might change. His advisors stepped in, their expressions turning from mild interest to complete shock. Elena held her breath. The balance wasn't empty, it wasn't tiny, and it definitely wasn't normal. It was huge. Years earlier, Liana's mother had worked at a small community center where she met a kind entrepreneur named Victor Renard. He had no children and was nearing the end of his life. Liana's mother cared for him during his final months, and Victor never forgot her kindness. Without telling her or Liana, he created a trust account in Liana's name. The fund grew every year, untouched, fed by investments Victor set up to continue long after his passing. He hoped that one day Liana would find it exactly when she needed it most. That moment had arrived. Dominic stared at the screen, realizing the girl standing in front of him wasn't just another child in need. She had become one of the wealthiest young individuals he had ever seen, a fortune so large that even some of his top clients didn't come close. For the first time in many years, Dominic felt humbled, fully, completely humbled. The child he had mocked in his mind now held more wealth than many of the people filling that luxurious room. He rose slowly from his chair, looking at Liana with respect instead of amusement. Liana, however, didn't understand the number glowing on the screen. She only saw that Dominic suddenly looked different, calmer, kinder. Elena knelt beside her and softly explained what the number meant. Liana's eyes widened, her lips parted. Tears filled her eyes as the truth sank in. She wasn't alone. She wasn't powerless. Her mother had left her something far more valuable than she ever imagined: security, hope, and a chance at a real future. Around them, people whispered, stunned by what they had witnessed. Dominic, known citywide for his arrogance, gently helped Liana pick up her things. He offered her food and water and promised to assign his best team to help protect her account until a legal guardian could be appointed. Liana nodded, overwhelmed, holding tightly to the little card that had just changed her entire life. Sunlight continued to stream through the high windows, but for Liana, the world felt warmer and safer than it had in years. If this story reached your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Your support helps us spread more goodness in a world that needs it. Before we finish, tell us in the comments, what would you do if you discovered a miracle when you least expected it? Later that afternoon, Liana walked out of the Summit Crest Bank with a small, hopeful smile, the first genuine smile she'd felt in a long time. She understood something important that day. The world could be harsh and life could be unpredictable, but hidden in the most unexpected places were gifts left behind by the people who loved us. Gifts strong enough to change everything. And as Liana stepped into the golden daylight, she held her mother's gift close to her heart, knowing her life would no longer be shaped by fear, but by possibility.